Right now, I want to introduce a handsome young gentleman, Steffen Schröder, Managing Director of Reclide SA, which is a multi-award winning waste electrical and electronic recycling business with a national collection and treatment infrastructure. Steffen is passionate about waste treatment and the application of circular economy principles and has developed several waste to product solutions. He's driven to develop sustainable waste treatment and production solutions for South Africa in Africa. His experience in collaboration with international technology and solution partners is used to apply sustainable and holistic waste management innovation in the local context. So from South Africa into Africa, please welcome Steffen Schröder.
Good morning, everybody. It is a pleasure for me to be here and to tell you just a little bit very quickly about what Reclide SA is doing, how we're working together with Circular Energy, and how we are striving to change the ways the way that people perceive waste. So waste and hazardous waste that we have, especially within the circular economy context and renewable energy context, really comes down to what is it that we're currently doing or what has been done. And predominantly in the past, we've been looking at the solar PV, lithium-ion batteries, battery industry as a strip and dump industry, really. And that means, so we would have an old solar panel, people would go out, they would strip the aluminium off, they would remove whatever valuables they can find, and they would dump the rest on the side of the road in a general landfill, or just give it to some people that, I can use it as a roof sheet. And all of these practices are very, very, very bad. And this is obviously where Reclide SA, in partnership with Circular Energy as a service provider to Circular Energy, comes in and changes the way that it's being done. And I know there's a very big practice of reuse of solar PV modules within local townships and within households, which is not necessarily bad, but there's certain aspects to that that come to safety. Because once a solar panel has been installed and it comes back off from whatever installation that has been done, there's no more COC there. There's no more guarantee that it is actually still functional. So it is very important that when we're looking at reuse or we're trying to look at the extension of life, that we're going through managed systems and we're doing it the right way. And that's where we're coming in, because we have the collection and recycling infrastructure with licensed facilities nationwide in South Africa, and we're also servicing our neighboring countries. Through the EPR route, we can provide vetted services that provide life extension, end-of-life treatment, and good, solid solutions that are within the EPR scheme. A lot of people will say, how much are you going to pay me for this? Well, sure, and we've heard earlier where there's incentives for e-waste being brought back, for reuse and incentives being paid, and that applies to some of the e-waste, but other e-waste, unfortunately, is not what we consider a positive waste stream. They're negative waste streams because the inherent value of the materials within the products is less than the actual process cost to remove and make safe of the various different components and bring it back into the proper management. Within our industry, we currently consider solar PV modules a negative waste stream in a proper holistic management, not in the I'll quickly remove the aluminium and I can pay you something for it, and then the panel just ends in a general landfill or somewhere else where we don't know what's happening to it. We have the same for LFP batteries and lithium-ion batteries in common. However, we are working on scaling these processes to do two things. Number one, stabilize the costs. Number two, reduce costs going forward. And that all helps with scaling, and where EPR is a big driver towards that. Why do we recycle solar PV modules? And this is just some quick numbers, some quick math. And I want to just trigger people here because we spoke about Joe in the morning. She spoke about the volumes that are going in. So we currently have, and I pulled this figure off quickly, as we have 2,300 megawatts of installed solar in the country. At the lightest range of 20 kilos per panel, which we know, the people, experts here, a 500 watt peak power producing panel will weigh more than 20 kilos. This would come down to about 4.5 million panels installed in South Africa right now, being 90,000 tons of solar PV modules that are currently in the market. This market is supposed to quadruple by 2030. Yes, solar PV modules last a long time, and yes, we will have some losses throughout the time. But last year alone, we've recycled already over 600 tons of solar PV modules. And this is only the iceberg. There are still huge storage depots of spent panels that just need to be collected from, hopefully, very soon compliant producer members. And why do we need to do this? And what is the biggest driver for the recycling of solar PV modules? Everybody's saying, oh, but it's just a normal, simple panel. Well, not all panels are created equal. But one way, they're all equal. And that means majority of the panel is glass. So we, within Reclight, have looked at how we can recover this, not as a waste, but as a resource. And the funding that we've received and infrastructure development that we received from Circular Energy has actually gone towards increasing the value of the products that are coming off the panels, developing offtake markets, because if we have to have in 5 or 10 years' time a market for 10,000 tons of glass, that is a very big task. Anybody here within the market, can you come up with something where you can put 10,000 tons of glass that is not soda lime? It's a completely different task. However, we believe we have the right solutions in place where we can actually bring this into the market, provide new products out of that, and provide circular solutions. How does it work? Well, everybody knows how a solar panel works, and we've seen the beautiful matrix of that butterfly matrix that we saw earlier. Well, we've taken the green side away because we can really only influence the reuse, recycling, refurbishment, and recycling portion. Now, within our solutions that we're providing into the market, we actually can create all the glass that comes out of the solar panel products, the aluminum, the silicon, the copper, will go back into new products in your circle that you see there and go back into new products without any need of mining at a much lower energy intensity than the virgin product. Why is this important? Well, because solar panels are highly recyclable if you do it the right way and have a high amount of recoverable materials. So when we are looking at this, we can dump 90,000 tons of solar PV modules into landfill and lose these resources forever, or make it extremely difficult for our future generations, for our grandchildren, to dig it back up in order to get these resources. Or we can right now, today, recover 80% of the material in a solar panel and make new products out of it in the African context, in the African market. And that's also applies obviously for lithium-ion batteries. I know they last a long time, but not really. Last year again, we've recycled over 400 tons of lithium-ion batteries, ranging from the button cells that you have in each and every one of your computers to keep the memory going and to make sure that everything starts up, to the actual battery powering the system, to the normal battery cells, and all the way to EV batteries and hybrid vehicle batteries. Again, all of those, the systems that we've created allow us a recovery not just of the shell material of batteries, which is plastics, metals, cables, but we're going one step further where we pioneered a new process that allows us to recover the black mass that is quite unique for each and every different battery type, and recover that at a very, very high ratio and free of contaminants. So some of you might know this best. So our black mass has a copper and aluminium content of less than 0.5%, which sets it currently at the cutting edge of black mass recovery from battery technology. Again, thanks to the investments coming from circular energy, and that in turn allows us to continue to reduce rates as we are benefiting and driving the beneficiation and cost beneficiation at the downstream supply to our vendors of our materials that we're recovering. Why is this important? Can anybody think? Hold on, one too fast. Anybody understands what that is? This is what can happen when you don't look after renewable energy products properly. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that happen as we are increasing our energy density. And this is one of the paramount parts of why lithium-ion batteries, solar PV modules need to be handled with care at end of life, at end of its current life, and need to go through a proper process. Whatever we do, when we take these products back, just bringing them back out into a second-hand market is not good enough. There needs to be a safety check. Otherwise, these are the things that can happen. So with that, I thank everybody, because I don't want to go over my time. So always handle your products at end of life safely, responsibly, work together with circular energy to ensure that they're coming back to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steffen. Recycling with innovation is what he's talking about.